Hey everybody, welcome to the All Chat Podcast. I am your host this week. My name is Nick, and I am joined by my friends Keefin. You have to say something.
Hi.
Ryan.
Hello.
And Tanner, who is kind of with us, but not really at the same time.
And Keefin.
Yeah.
We really
hey
need to do
guys.
this again.
I'm many miles away, but I am there in voice and spirit.
Yes, and we like that. So if you haven't noticed this week, we sound probably 1,000 times better. We just bought a Blue Yeti microphone, and Keefin and Ryan and I are just kind of sitting around it right now, and Tanner's audio is coming through the laptop speaker, but nevertheless, it's a lot better than the train wreck that was last week's podcast.
Yeah.
So we're pretty happy about that. We'll be testing more audio things as we try to get better at this. But anyways, let's get down to it. We're going to start talking about what we've played this week. So, Keefin, what games have you played this week?
Nothing really. I haven't played that much. I played some League, and that's really it. I haven't had a lot of time for games this week.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I guess I've played some mobile games as well. I played some Hearthstone. Not really that big into it. I have a friend who's huge into it. I just play for fun, so I'm not great. But yeah, I have fun with it. It's a decent game. Played some Bloons Tower Defense 5 as well.
On the phone?
Yeah, dude, you can play it on the phone.
Is it like an app, or are you like emulating it?
No, it's an app.
It's an app?
Yeah,
Oh,
Balloons.
okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
John had me get
Isn't that old like Flash game on the computer?
So the old Bloons, the new ones actually look pretty good. But yeah, I played the old ones on Flash games on whatever, like Newgrounds or whatever they were on back in the day before real games existed. That I had because I didn't have a console. But yeah, no, I love Bloons. But yeah, no, it's fun. But yeah, I just haven't had a lot of time, so just downtime in between college or university and work. Yeah, pretty much that's really all I've done. So nothing too special this week. Hopefully, this next week's gonna be better for me.
Yeah, that adult life. I know how that is. Yeah. All right, Ryan, what have you played this week?
So I've been playing. I really didn't have a ton of time either because with Mighty Soul in town and everything.
He has a girlfriend.
So I mostly played Heroes of the Storm, and then I played a little bit of Sea of Thieves with I play a Duel Links on my phone, so that's pretty much.
Remind people what Duel Links is.
Duel Links is pretty much it's a Yu-Gi-Oh game on.
We're on a gaming podcast.
On a gaming podcast. So funny.
Nerd.
But I've mostly just been playing Heroes with a small amount of time I had this week.
Hey, have you played the new hero yet? Have you bought him? Phoenix?
Oh yeah, I've played Phoenix a little bit. Since I've been playing mostly on my Smurf account, I haven't bought him yet because my Smurf account doesn't have a lot of gold, and the gold that I get I want to use on heroes that I've already.
The way you play good on.
I already know play
well
on. So.
On. Sorry.
Well, I bought him, and I've been playing well with him. He's really fun.
Yeah, have you played a lot?
He's so freaking annoying with that teleport. He teleports a million miles away as soon as he's about to die.
Yeah, I think they nerfed him in this recent patch. I don't know if he's still totally busted or anything. But
could he teleport even if he's getting damage?
Oh yeah, he literally it's just like a blink basically. He can just do it super
How fast
far.
is it?
It's instant.
What?
Yeah.
And what's the cooldown?
And I don't know what's the cooldown, Tanner. I think you would know more than anybody else, but more than any of us. I don't think he knows. Tanner.
I'm sorry, guys. You've been cutting out. I couldn't hear anything you were saying for the last 5-10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was just wondering what the cooldown on his teleport is.
Oh, well, you could pretty much only use it once during a team fight. I can't remember what the cooldown is, but you can't use it a lot. I know that.
Is it above 10 seconds? Probably.
I think so. Mm-hmm. I'd have to double check. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's fair. But anyways, the point is that people were saying he's been pretty busted. I don't know if the nerf really helped all that much, but Yeah, he's a ranged assassin that can teleport instantly and does a lot of damage. I can't imagine. Oh, and he has an extra shield too, I think, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that shield messes a lot of people up because they just see his low health bar and they don't see the shield, and so they go in to try to attack him, can't kill him, then he can teleport out, and the rest of the team can gang up on everyone who tried to attack Phoenix, and all of their cooldowns are on, and it just makes it for a frustrating battle.
Yeah, he's the one who mostly gets banned, and because I was the games that I was playing, I was doing ranked. I actually did win a good chunk of them, so I'm starting to move my way up gold. So,
Oh, that's pretty cool. You're on your road to plat then.
oh yes,
Nice. Yeah. So how was Sea of Thieves still? Did you play it with somebody, or were you playing it solo?
Not with me.
I played it for like 10 minutes. I was showing Muddy Soul, and I saw I saw another ship,
Yeah.
and so there was 2 people on it, and I was wrecking them. It was hilarious. They kept on shooting at me, and they were missing. I was nailing them every single time.
Nice. Have you gotten very far in like the progression, like getting your rep up? Have you like been able to buy anything else, or?
I mean, I've always been a hoarder when it comes to golden games, and so I haven't really spent any of the stuff I have. I think like rank like 17 or 18 with the what do you call it?
There's the merchants, the oracles, and then the other people.
It's the one where you focus on killing the skeletons.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. I don't play enough Sea of Thieves to really know what that is, but yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty much all you've played this week then?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, as for me, this week, I have been playing... Actually, you know what? I'm going to have Tanner go first, because I actually have a lot to talk about for what I've played this week. Tanner, what have you played this week?
Okay, so for a while, actually, I've been working my way through StarCraft, the original StarCraft, not even Brood War, just the original StarCraft. Now, back when I was younger, I had a harder time, beating that game without cheating, without putting in cheat codes. And so when I started this time, I told myself, I'm not going to cheat. I'm just going to win the organic, normal way. But I've been finding that to be difficult in some of the Protoss campaigns. I just can't seem to beat certain levels. And so I did cheat on one level. And I just, got to hear from you guys. What do you think about my issue there? Like, is it okay? I mean, I don't have time to, spend hours and hours and hours on one single level. It just drives me crazy.
I mean, I guess from a casual perspective, if you really just want to get through the story, because, I mean, that's what the campaign is a story, yeah. I don't see an issue with it. But the thing about, I guess, professional StarCraft players, I know we're not professional StarCraft players, but, it's a real-time strategy game, and if you're kind of cheating around it, it kind of defeats the purpose of it being a strategy game. You're not really learning anything. Personally, I would kind of not feel like I accomplished anything. I know that you just wanted to get through the level because it's hard, and believe me, StarCraft is a really hard game.
So my question would be, are you enjoying yourself?
Well, yeah, and I never start out a level cheating. I always try to beat it, and I'll go through many different times of trying to do it, and I don't enjoy myself once that's happening. I know that that's a part of gaming, and I need to have patience and and develop my skills. But what Nick said is true. I want to get through the game. I want to get through the campaign, oftentimes because of the story. I'm not playing StarCraft online multiplayer, so I'm not needing to actually sharpen my skills. But I do enjoy the lore and story of StarCraft, and that's kind of the main reason I'm just going through it. And so, I enjoy myself when I win. I enjoy myself more when I win without cheating, but I don't enjoy myself when I spend so much time on a level and I just can't beat it.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I mean, in my opinion, since you're not playing against people that can be affected by your actions, and you're the only one who's affected, if you're enjoying yourself and to keep enjoying the game that you are putting time into, and purchased, if you need to add a little cheat code here and there, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, you bought a game to enjoy it. I don't know that a game is necessarily there to frustrate or stress out unless it's like a Dark Souls game, and then, maybe that is the purpose. But in my opinion, like, you can play a game however you want to play it, and if you enjoy playing it that way, like, then that's a valid way to play.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be pissing off the developers by using the cheat codes that they developed.
Or allow at the very least.
Are they developer cheat codes? Like, did they?
I mean, they allow them. I mean, Age of Empires.
So Nick, it's built into the game. It's not some type of mod or anything like that.
It's like Age of Empires 2. Like, I can enable cheats if I want to, which I still remember many of, because when I was a kid, very similar to you, Tanner, I have to use them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, lumberjack, I need all the wood. Rock on, I need that stone. Like, I remember a bunch of those cheat codes because I used them so much, and it was just like, that was how I had fun playing.
I remember the Laser Trooper one and the car.
The car.
You could get a car in Age of Empires.
Yeah, it shoots like catapult like rock.
Okay, we need to do a let's play of Age of Empires, and we need to like play with the cheat codes.
I'm immediately down.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. I think the only game I've really used cheat codes in is The Sims. So The Sims 2, you had to I think it was The Sims 2. You had to use a cheat to make your people like not age as fast. But then in Sims 3, they just added it as a feature instead of a cheat. So those are really the only cheats I remember using.
Should I play Sims? I've always wanted to.
Oh wait,
actually
no. There's another cheat. So you know Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, which is like Age of Empires but for Star Wars.
I go with the Star Wars skin. Yep.
Yeah. So there's a cheat where you can type Luke Skywalker and you just automatically win the level, and that's how I got.
That's so lame.
That's how I unlocked all the campaign story modes and stuff when I was playing as a kid. But yeah, there's also, you could type Simon Says, and you'd get an Ewok that shoots lasers.
Yeah, I remember that
and he
one.
does like 50,000 damage or something like that. It's ridiculous. Yeah, those are the only cheats that I remember doing.
So what made you go back to StarCraft? With all the new games that are coming out and all the options you have, why StarCraft?
Well,
I'm not judging. I play Age of Empires. I'm just wondering.
Well, two reasons. One, it was a game of my childhood, which I enjoyed, and I wanted to go back to that. Two, what brought me back to that was actually Heroes of the Storm. Playing Heroes of the Storm, reconnecting with the characters there, made me want to go through the campaign. And that it did the same thing for Diablo. Because of Heroes of the Storm, I bought Diablo. And if that's the purpose of them,
Diablo 3?
developing Heroes of the Storm,
Yes,
they
Diablo
got me.
3.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, the Heroes of the Storm, its engine is based off of StarCraft 2's engine.
Wow,
If you notice the similarities, if you've played StarCraft 2, so that makes sense to me. Anyways, well, so what I've played this week, I've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch this week. Now, I recently got back into Heroes of the Storm because I wanted to start streaming and such, and Tanner and Ryan played a lot. And it's really fun to play with friends and such. I've just been leveling characters and Quick Match to try and get them in so I can do better in my placements for Hero League. But the problem is that I'm already 2-6 in my placements for Hero League, so it's not really helping me there.
You're probably going to be a solid silver.
Probably solid silver trash. That's okay though. But
Nigh impossible to escape.
so I forgot to tell you last night. So when my last Hero League placement that I did, it was looking like a total loss. Like our Illidan had 10 deaths, I had 8. We had a Chromie, but she wasn't doing a lot. I mean, she was doing the best she could as a solo carry, basically. But Illidan just kept pushing, like without any vision or anything, and he just kept pushing by himself. So we were like 25 minutes into the game. We both have Storm talents, both teams. And they get the mech, right? So we're on Volskaya.
Yeah.
And they have the mech, and they're going to our base about to destroy our keep. Then all of a sudden, the game freezes for a second, and then it goes to the victory screen. It shows and I just realized that Illidan and Chromie actually just pushed without them knowing, because the enemy was getting so cocky. They just took the objective and all stayed by the objective without looking at their core. So Illidan and Chromie literally just pushed the core without them realizing it.
Oh my gosh.
And then we won. And, like, this is a game we should not have won. and it was so crazy to me. So
I
that's
did
how I won that game.
I did something similar with Teemo in League of Legends.
Yeah, you just basically like solo push without them realizing it, and they call it backdooring basically in MOBAs. But yeah, that happened to me on Heroes of the Storm this week. And the other game I've been playing is I've been playing the new Overwatch event, Overwatch Blackwatch Retribution. So basically, it's a story mode where it takes 4 of the original members of Blackwatch, McCree, Genji, Moira, and Reyes, or Reaper as most people know him. And they go on this mission in Venice, Italy, where basically they're supposed to take somebody out, or at least they're supposed to capture them, but then Reaper just decides to kill him instead. And so they have to kind of escape because the Talon members are attacking them, and so they have to try and escape. The thing is, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this event because last year's event was Uprising, where you were playing as Reinhardt, Mercy, Torbjorn, and Tracer, and it was Tracer's first mission, and we were up against the Omnics, the Null Sector Omnics that were attacking, and it was more of like a zombie survival type thing, because then we had the payload that we had to take to the end, whereas Retribution kind of feels just like a wait and kill scenario, and you don't really do anything else. And I feel like it was a little less thought out. So I'm not really a huge fan of this event, honestly. I love the lore of Overwatch, but I think this event was kind of an afterthought. I think Uprising was better in every single way. But
Nick,
other than that, that's what I've been playing. What's up?
I have to actually agree with you 100% on that.
Oh yeah, so you've played Retribution.
I
Yeah.
have to.
Oh, you played it? Oh, okay.
I have
And
not.
all I have to say is, I think you're right. I think they didn't intend to originally do this one, but they're like, we need something else to put in that helps with the lore. And they're like, okay, what characters can we put in that weren't in Uprising? And let's just throw some enemies at them and have them kill them. Yeah, it's just it seems not their best work.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think that Uprising was harder. Do you get that feeling? Because Retribution, I've only played normal.
Tried Expert?
I haven't tried Expert, but
I'm gonna be kind of devil advocate here. I do enjoy Retribution because they have those different kind of enemies.
The assassins and the snipers.
The assassins, the snipers, and I mean, yeah, they're pretty much just different versions of some of the characters they already have. But like the assassin can actually jump on you, and then your character, you can't control your character while they're swiping away at you. And I mean, that's a mechanic I haven't seen before.
So is this like a Left 4 Dead kind of thing?
Yes, actually, that's what people have been
Or
comparing
the
it to.
Warhammer game? The rat one?
Maybe not Warhammer. Well, maybe a little bit.
That's essentially a remake of Left 4 Dead with rats?
Yeah, that's what people are comparing Retribution to. Maybe I think Uprising.
Okay, because when you said the assassin jumps on you and swipes at you, you can't move.
Oh yeah, that happens in
That's
Warhammer.
exactly Warhammer, but that's more Left 4 Dead. I mean, Left 4 Dead kind of. I don't know if that started that. I don't know for sure, but that was the first place I saw
That's
it.
what people are comparing it to.
So yeah, that sounded a lot like that. So that actually sounds interesting to me. I'm not an Overwatch fan, so I'm going to be super devil's advocate here. To me, it was just nothing new and nothing special. Unpopular opinion, I guess.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just nothing that good. Nothing really dragged me in. But that actually sounds kind of interesting because it is a very fluid game. Because anything made by Blizzard is pretty fluid.
Oh yeah.
It works well. It's very well optimized, and I understand that. I still didn't enjoy the game regardless. But a game like that, where it's all like a Left 4 Dead kind of thing, but very, very fluid with kind of updated graphics, could actually be really fun. I won't buy Overwatch for it, but it does make me interested.
Well, I don't want to say that I hated the event or I hate the event. I think Uprising is better in comparison to Retribution. That doesn't make Retribution bad to me. I feel like Retribution, even besides the assassin thing, it doesn't feel like it does a whole lot more. But again, Overwatch is a multiplayer-based game. It's not a story mode game, despite people begging Blizzard to make a story mode.
Yeah, it is actually. It does provide some more lore, which is kind of nice because there's not really a whole lot of lore that's provided, which a lot of people are wanting with Overwatch.
Yeah, for sure. What were you going to say?
I was going to mention that part is once it came out, I was so excited because there was more to the story that I was going to hear, and that's what Overwatch does. Is that it on purpose will not give you a story. It won't do it because it wants you coming back for more. And so when Retribution, comes out, yes, I'm playing it immediately because I want to get more of the lore that they're just not going to give us, or just give us very, very tiny bits at a time. And it works. It gets us coming back to the game again and again.
It's true. I mean, I think I only play Overwatch when there's an event going at this point. I used to play competitive more, but it's kind of lost its luster for me more. Probably because I just don't have time to play so many games competitively. Because I'm playing Rocket League in competitive mode right now, and I'm trying to get my heroes rank going. By the way, I placed gold in Rocket League. I was pretty happy about that in 3v3s.
I just got to silver.
Yeah, my boy. Oh right, sorry, I just banged the table.
And I was diamond in Lucio Ball.
That's right, you were.
I think you helped me get up to diamond.
I was still stuck in
carried
plat,
you.
but
Yeah, sure.
he carried
keep on
you.
telling yourself that.
Yeah, the soccer player here is the one that was carried, not the guy.
Well,
that
I
doesn't
mean,
play
soccer does not translate to Lucio Ball or Rocket
Does it?
League.
No,
No,
I'm just kidding.
same exact thing. If you're really good at soccer, you're really
It'll
good
translate
at
to
video game
mouse
soccer.
and keyboard movements.
Though you might believe that because when I was in Mexico and the cafe internets they have where people go to like pay for internet and or slash Xbox games because that's what they play. They'd be outside playing soccer and then they'd go in and pay to play a soccer game.
Yeah.
So,
on a video game.
I'm not necessarily saying that skill translated, but the love of soccer definitely translated. So I saw that all the time. And I'm sure Ryan can also agree with me there.
Yeah, it happened a lot. I mean, I don't like playing soccer games all that much. I mean, Rocket League's as close as it comes to soccer video games that I play. I just rather play soccer, in person.
Yep, getting a workout and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I've played this week as well. So that means we'll move on to our next segment, which is gaming news. So basically what we do is each of us grab a news segment that we want to talk about for the week, and we talk about it. So first up on the list is the PlayStation 5 is rumored, gentlemen.
Ew.
It is rumored to be powered by AMD CPU, just
Which
like
is
the current
pretty
one is.
common because
Yeah.
most AMD pretty much powers all consoles.
Yeah, because they're the cheaper versions.
So it's not really that surprising.
Yeah, but it is based on the Zen architecture. Now, I know PC hardware probably the most out of the four of us. Maybe Tanner knows as much as me. I don't know.
I think you know more.
Yeah, so the Zen architecture is off their Ryzen processors, they're these new processors that came out to compete with Intel, and they've been really popular. I actually just upgraded my PC last night to a Ryzen processor.
You do have to remember though, it is just the Zen architecture, so
Yeah.
it's the idea. It's not going to
Yeah,
compare.
it doesn't.
to-
I'm not saying the PlayStation
Yeah.
5 is going to have a Ryzen processor, because if the PlayStation 5 had a Ryzen processor, then it'd just be a PC. I mean, like, why even bother buying the PlayStation at that point? Because the point of a console is it's more of an entry level into gaming at a decent price, so you can just play games. But
Well, I mean,
anyways,
the benefit would be that you can buy any game and you can play it. With a
Yeah.
PC, that is not the case. You could buy
Yeah.
a game and realize you can't play it, which I've done before,
Ugh.
and just been like, cool. I mean, when I upgraded, now I can play some of those games. Like, my old laptop could not play Bioshock Infinite, and I loved the Bioshock 1, and I skipped 2 because, whatever I was told, I should probably just go to Infinite. Anyway, not the point. The point of the story was I couldn't play it because the audio, even at lowest graphics, was just super off from the gameplay, so it was super annoying because it's a story-driven
Oh, yeah.
game. When I upgraded my laptop, then I could suddenly play it, and that was cool at high graphics. I was like, yeah.
yeah, except
but-
you spent more.
I definitely spent more. But, had I had a console, during that entire lifespan, I can guarantee I can play a game.
That's true.
Right, yeah, it's true. Overwatch is the reason I decided to build a PC, because I bought it, and it wouldn't even load. And that was
There
before
you
I
go.
knew a lot about PC builds and PC gaming in general. But you're right, just one game forced me to spend hundreds more dollars on something just so I could play it.
Well, but you play more now than just
Yeah,
Overwatch,
I do, and so it's worth it.
yeah.
But let's say someone bought Overwatch, but that's all they wanted to play.
Or you're
Then
a
they're kind
kid.
of stuck.
Or you're a kid and you don't know about that stuff, and your
Yeah.
parents buy you a console, because if they buy you a computer, not only do you have the wealth of the internet to access in any way you want, which parents might not want, you also don't know that you can play any game that comes out. And I think the PS5 is, as it's rumored, I mean, it's going to have, obviously it's going to be an upgrade from what we have right now, from the Pro
Yeah.
or the Xbox One X. I assume they're going to go way more than that. It's rumored to have more teraflops, which was a big thing. Xbox One X was pushing hard, so...
You know what's funny? I actually didn't even know what a teraflop was until the Xbox One X came out.
Almost no one did.
And like I had built my
still don't know
PC
what
and
a
everything.
teraflop is. I'm hearing the teraflop.
No. So teraflop is like a measure. It's like a measure of power, like based on the CPU processing power and the graphics processing power. It's like a combination. But anyway, shifting the focus back to the PlayStation 5. Well, what do you guys think? What do you think?
Okay, well, I have a question.
Yeah.
And this maybe only applies to me, but will Kingdom Hearts 3 be on PlayStation 5? That's my question.
I think Kingdom Hearts 3 will be out on the PlayStation 12.
Here's my question. Yeah, I was going to say basically what he said in a different way. Is it ever going to come out? Also, isn't it coming out on every console?
It's coming out. I think it's coming out PC, Xbox, and
so no Switch?
PlayStation. I mean, we don't know that yet. Maybe E3.
Fair.
Nintendo, please. I mean, Square Enix, please.
It could. The Kingdom Hearts franchise has been on PlayStation, Nintendo, not Xbox, but there are emulated things you can play on PC. So it hasn't done anything with Microsoft, but it has made its way to different consoles and platforms despite being an exclusively PlayStation game beforehand when it came out. So it could probably just do whatever it wants.
It was on the Game Boy of all things.
Really? There's a Kingdom Hearts game there? Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So another part of the rumor of the PS5. So the original thing that came out was on this website. I apologize at the moment. I cannot remember off the top of my head, but it was a website where you have to pay $1,000 a year to subscribe, and they pretty much had all the details.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I
and
know what
I
you're talking
can't
about.
remember it off the top of my head. Feel bad about that, but they also charge you $1,000, so that's pretty crazy. Anyway, another thing they were talking about was there's a rumor that it's going to be coming out this year because they sent out dev kits. What I think a lot of people don't realize is dev kits are usually just PCs with specs they kind of imagine they might have for the new console, and it's to give developers an idea, a vague idea of what their hardware or what hardware they're going to be able to develop for. That way they can start making games that are going to meet those specs and not be too much. Of course, many times the dev kit will be more powerful and they'll still have to dial it down, but it gives them an idea. I don't think that means the PlayStation 5 will come out this year. I also think that if it did, that would be a huge mistake because I don't think there's that much excitement for a new PlayStation 5 with the Pro having just come out.
Well,
And the Switch being huge right now.
it was 2 years ago, though.
But the last console generation, the 360 and the PlayStation 3 generation, lasted like 8 years or 7 years. I think it was 2006 to 2013.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone wants a new console generation. If it went to 2020 or 2019, which other rumors are stating that it might do, that would fit more with the length of the last console generation, and I think would build more excitement because the consoles we have now still haven't had their potential tapped. There isn't a
definitely
game
not.
that uses everything to its full potential. They're still getting better and better. And that's something we didn't see at the end of the life cycles of the other consoles was we saw their full potential. There was nothing more that they could really do. I'm sure someone could have come out with a little bit better, but then we saw a big difference when the new consoles came out. Or maybe not a big difference, but we can see that now. So I think that would be a mistake, and I don't think they're going to make that. Sony's pretty good with that kind of stuff. So I don't think they would release it this year. I think they're going to wait to drum up more excitement and have something really big to show off.
I agree. I think 2019 is better because think about it this way. So the PlayStation 4 came out in 2013. Then we got 3 years later PlayStation 4 Pro 2016. 3 years later PlayStation 5. Now the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X are technically still this gen. They're not really next gen consoles. They're like mid gen upgrades. So that's another reason I don't think it's coming out this year. I think that would be stupid. I think PlayStation 4 Pro owners would get really mad if it came out this year. So I definitely think that. Ryan, Tanner, any thoughts? Release dates?
On the PS5?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow PlayStation all that much. I had a PS2, but I never knew anyone with a PS3. I know like 2 people with a PS4.
I'm one of them.
Ryan, we did play a lot of PS4 back in Provo when we lived there.
3 people with a PS4.
With one PS4.
Yeah. really, all I'm concerned about is, since I have switched over to PC gaming, all I'm concerned about is how it affects Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well,
yeah,
no one's going to be able to
it's
answer
really-
that question right now. We'll have to wait till E3, and then you can give us the great update for that.
I know. And, Kingdom Hearts 3 now has just become such a meme in the gaming community because Kingdom Hearts 1 came out back when I was in elementary school. And now, like, the third one is going to, come out this many years later, and who knows if when.
If it will.
It's just become more frustrating. But still, I love it so much that I can't help that if the PlayStation 5 was the only console that had Kingdom Hearts 3, would I buy it to play it? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's honestly taking so long because Disney keeps on acquiring all these new things, like Marvel, Star Wars, and they had to
Fox.
Yeah,
right.
They keep on acquiring new franchises, and so they kept on wanting to add new stuff because obviously the more stuff you have in Kingdom Hearts 3, the bigger fan base you'll be able to draw into the game. Because if you have like Star Wars fans who weren't maybe into Kingdom Hearts as much before, and then all of a sudden they see that Sora might be fighting alongside Luke Skywalker, I mean, that could really draw in a whole new...
Right. Yeah, and
base.
movies like Big Hero 6, which are confirmed for Kingdom Hearts 3, that movie came out after development for Kingdom Hearts 3 started. And so, who knows what they're waiting for? And it's a good point. It draws in so many different fan bases that they're going to milk it for all that it's worth.
And I've never played one.
Me
so
neither.
if it's good enough, maybe I would get it. Who knows? I don't
Yeah.
actually know that much about it. Because
Yeah, the no Kingdom Hearts.
whatever.
It's a game I
Actually,
definitely want to play,
Kingdom
though.
Hearts 3, it's confirmed that Keefin, BioShock Infinity will be in it.
That's interesting.
Infinite, not Infinity.
Or Infinite. I don't know. I'm just kidding. It was a lie.
Oh, you-
I was like, that would be really weird.
That'd be a weird collab. But,
I don't
yeah.
know if that would really fit, but whatever. I was okay with it.
Well, so another rumor of the PlayStation 5 that I was watching a YouTuber that was talking about it. It won't have a disc drive. It'll go 100% digital. What do you guys feel about 100% digital? Now, on PC, I don't have an optical disc drive in my computer. I am 100% digital. And PC's kind of been like that for a while now, actually. And you can put an optical disc drive in,
I have one.
but I personally don't see
don't
use
use
for
it
it
ever.
anymore. But
I think it would be a mistake, and here's why. Parents don't buy kids digital games because parents still, but I think the new generation's coming up and they do, but a lot of older parents or people that aren't into gaming don't know that digital's the way to go. I think getting rid of digital games, especially for poorer areas that don't have great internet, would be a huge issue. And it was actually one of the big issues with the Xbox One, which they tried that forever ago. And that destroyed them. Of course, now people have better internet, so it might go over better. The other problem I would have with it is if you were trying to play a 4K video or anything like that, streaming those is way more difficult. And again, that's going to go back to how good your internet is. So on my Xbox One X, I just actually recently bought Thor Ragnarok in 4K HDR, which is amazing. Liked it better the second time, I'll be honest, and it looks very beautiful on my 4K TV with my 4K disc drive. And I've watched things digitally that are 4K, and it has to buffer a little bit. I have good internet, so it doesn't take too long, but it does have to build up to that. And anytime you get out of it or anything happens, it can go down in quality. So in my opinion, I think that would be a mistake, even if it's just from a movie standpoint. I think that would be a hard sell. Unless they have two different versions of it, where one's more like gaming centered and one's more an all around PS5, and they can kind of sell it that way.
that's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Keefin, I actually have to agree with you in the sense that what does it cost them to put one in?
Well, they make it. So
yeah,
they make
like,
Blu-ray. That's
Sony-
like Sony's
Sony
thing.
owns Blu-ray.
In fact, Xbox has to pay them to put it in their systems.
Yeah.
And the PS4 Pro doesn't even have a 4K drive.
It doesn't?
No.
I'm
It
saying
can play
is-
4K games. It cannot play 4K DVDs. I'm also going to check that to make sure that I'm not lying, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah,
Huh.
and so like what I'm saying is, as far as overhead, what does it cost them to put the disc drive in? They
Does
can have
make
an
it
emphasis
bigger.
on. Yeah, I mean, they can have an emphasis on digital and have digital downloads, but to have the option for movies or for parents who buy, physical discs, it doesn't cost that much to produce the physical discs, and it wouldn't cost that much to put it into the console itself. And so I don't see a loss of just having the option.
So I'm looking something up just to make sure, and it says that Sony PS4 Pro owners will gain. I'm getting this from PocketLint.com. It says Sony PS4 Pro owners will gain the ability to play back 4K video stored on a USB drive or over a home network, but it's not quite the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray playback users wanted. So not only does Sony, who makes this stuff, not give them the disc drive right now, they are going to, at least with the PlayStation 4 Pro, give them the ability to play it through streaming or through a USB, but it will not have HDR, which is the real selling point of 4K anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Because to see the 4K, you have to have a big TV and sit up pretty close. I still see a difference, even though my TV's only like 50 inches about, and I sit decently close, but the HDR makes a huge difference. So the fact that it doesn't have that baffles me, but that also does kind of lead into the rumor that Nick just said, that it might not have one because they're already trying to get rid of it now, even though they're the makers of it in the first place.
Right.
So that could be a very, very, very true thing.
I like your idea of two different versions, but at the same time, would it be kind of a hassle to have two different versions? Or I don't know. I guess they're selling the PS4 Pro and the PS4 right now, so maybe they could sell two different ones. But either way, I'd be all for the digital thing, honestly. So, but that's just me. I have a PC that doesn't have a disc drive, so I just kind of don't care about physical media as much as I do or used to. I mean, with my Switch, I care more about physical media, but that's because it has abysmal storage.
It has no memory.
But other than that, I'd be all for digital. I'm on Team Digital.
So on my Xbox, I only basically have digital games. I have a couple that I've purchased here and there. I think people mostly that have purchased them for me as a gift, and I'm like, I wish it was digital so I could just immediately switch to it. But benefits with that on an Xbox is I can also plug in an external hard drive, and I don't have to replace it, so that adds in a little extra ease to it, which is the same with a computer. It's easy to use an external hard drive. PlayStation, not so much. You have to actually switch out the internal drive, so that's annoying. I don't know if they'll fix that with the 5, but I'm still all in it for the DVDs. I think 4K HDR through DVD, you're going to get higher quality and better bitrate than you're going to get through streaming anytime. And if you have a 4K TV, you're going to want to utilize that, and that is the way of the future anyway. So to me, with the lack of internet that is decent all around the world, that it might not be as much of a worry in Japan or Korea or even in the United States as much. But in other places, it's going to be difficult for them to get that same quality, I think.
The whole external hard drive thing, that's actually a reason why I'm still, I guess, team disc for me too, because like I had to buy an external hard drive to get some more games on my Xbox One, and I remember that was never an issue back with our older consoles. You bought a game and you didn't have to worry about how much space it had,
Or installing it.
You just you got a game and you could play it right off the get go. And so I had to buy I had to pay like $70. I got a deal on it, but it was like $74 for an extra 2 terabytes of space on my Xbox One, and I thought that was stupid because, I mean, you buy a system and you don't. The most expenses you plan on making is maybe some few extra games, not more space so you can play them more. So you can. It's like almost like a pyramid scheme. You have to buy one thing to buy another thing, and then once you buy the more things, then you have to buy another thing to make room for that other thing, and then it just keeps on going and going until. And I'm not serious enough of a gamer to feel like I'm justified in spending that much money on. On video games.
Yeah. I think...
Well, I mean, Nick, I am with you on Team Digital, but from a business standpoint, I understand why the PS5 may still allow that. I'm with you. I'm completely digital as well. But from a business standpoint, for other people who may not have as good of internet as me or whatever, they can, if they have the option, more power to them.
Yeah, makes sense. And this will be the last thing I say about the PlayStation 5 rumor, or I guess talking about digital versus disc, is 4K games are very, very, very big. Like, I think Gears of War 4 and Xbox One X is like 100-something gigabytes. And I could understand why people would probably want to keep the discs around. Now, discs don't exactly have high capacity either, but maybe Blu-rays have more. I don't know. They probably do. But so I could see why you guys are on Team Disc. I'm still Team Digital, though, because my PC still only plays games at 1080p. So, it is what it is.
So, going along with what you said, sorry to interrupt you, but
okay.
Forza Horizon 7, which will be in 4K for Xbox One X, will said to be 100 gigabytes, if not more.
Yeah, so is Gears 4. So
that's insane.
And that's like, and the Xbox One X only has a terabyte. Like, that's a tenth of the hard drive. So I can see the appeal for discs for sure.
And that's just at launch, it's going to be that. And that's not with them adding
that's
all
insane.
The DLC and all the stuff, which
that's
Gears
crazy.
4 already has. So games are huge.
Yeah, I agree. But I think talking about future rumors is a good segue into our main topic for this podcast, guys. So we're going to be talking about video games in the future and the future of video games. The first question I have for you guys is, will we be playing video games in the future? Like when we're 50, 60, 70? What do you guys think? Let's start with Keefin's opinion on the subject.
Yes.
That was easy.
I'm going to give it a resounding hell yes. No, I love video games. So, kind of going back to my past, I wasn't huge into it. Like, I got here and there, probably the 360s when I got big into it, but once I got big into it, it really became a big thing for me to always want to do. I don't see any specific stopping point for me, especially with games continuing to improve, adding new games, like Battle Royale. I mean, there's always going to be something new that's going to be thrown out there. VR is something I would love to really get into, except for it's super expensive and you need a lot of space. So, I mean, that's something I would love to be able to be more into in the future, and hopefully when it's entirely better with better games. So, I think I don't see any reason I'd ever stop playing games. Now, stop playing specific games I'm playing now for sure. Do I know that in 10 years I'll be playing League of Legends? I have no idea. But will I definitely be playing video games? Yes, I'll always enjoy doing them, playing with friends, enjoying a good time with them, being able to see how graphics improve, how gameplay improve, how you can see new things implemented that you never even thought could happen. That's like great stuff to me. I remember the first time I saw like in one of the Battlefield games when you can have like destructible everything. That was one of the most insane things I've ever seen, and they've only added new things all the time. So I think it's very, very cool to see like how games will change, and I think they're just going to keep getting better and better. And I would love to play games with my kids whenever I have them. I think it would be awesome as a way to like bond in a specific way, and yeah, I think it's like a kind of a new generation thing. People will be playing games even when they're older compared to the older generation that may play a game here or there, but that's not really like their main thing. I think it will be for me always something that I do.
Yeah, I think this generation is good. I remember playing a few games with my dad when I was growing up because he was always, he was always pretty. He wasn't ever against games really. It was mostly my mom that was against me playing a lot of video games as I was growing up. But I remember spending a lot of quality time playing like 007 GoldenEye with my dad. After a certain time, he just stopped playing against me because of how bad I would kick his butt. But I think our generation is definitely going to be way more open to playing, especially like I think that's going to be a big tool that they can use in like nursing homes and everything to keep people occupied and at least somewhat comfortable in their settings, as you know. And then there is always that thing where we'll be able to relate more with our or with our offspring, you know, when they're playing games.
Our
and
offspring.
I don't know. It's just a terminology. I don't. For our future kids or grandkids.
Earth spawn.
Shut up.
Reen spawn.
Green spawn. Yeah. So yeah, I think gaming's in a good place right now, especially with everything, with the what do you call it, the esports, especially with esports the way that it's going. Because I remember back in the day, even still now, people kind of make jokes about it, about how it's kind of a joke that it's even as big as it is, but you know it's only going to get bigger, and with esports and that whole everything's just moving forward technology wise. It's just gonna gaming's not going anywhere.
Oh, most definitely not. So my dad actually kind of I wouldn't want to say he like raised me to like play video games, but he's been pretty much a nerd most of his life, I think. No offense, Dad. I know you listen to this podcast, but he's the one who got me into video games. I mentioned last week that the first video game I ever played was The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and my dad is the reason that I was exposed to that game because he had a Nintendo 64 and he was playing it one day, and that's my earliest gaming memory that I have. And I think I've basically been a gamer my entire life. Honestly, I've had a lot of consoles. My dad and I have played World of Warcraft on and off for 10 years, and we've always been playing games. So do I see myself playing video games? Of course I do. Absolutely, 100%. In fact, I don't want to make this competition, but I think I probably play the most video games out of the four of us. But I also have more free time than you guys do, probably, so that's probably why. Being single is fun, right? Yay.
Well, also, yeah, school. So.
And school, yeah. School is also a factor. But yeah, I've been playing video games for a while, and I'm going to continue playing them. And I definitely want my kids to play them. I don't want them to be as addicted as I am, though, honestly. But I'm kind of hoping in the future, like, VR becomes really, really, like, common, like, and cheap to do. Because I'd love to play a lot of VR stuff with my kids. Like, a lot of family-friendly VR stuff would be cool. Like, I could see the Just Dance series eventually just going VR completely, if VR ever gets that big.
I mean, it's like Ready Player One,
yeah,
which I haven't seen.
I haven't seen that either,
but it's all about VR in the future.
Yeah, my dad's seen that. I need to see that movie.
The book.
We should all go. Honestly, like we really need to see that movie.
I haven't seen it.
I wouldn't mind talking about like as like a side segment one of the podcasts, just talking about Ready Player One.
We should, guys. When I get back, let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's go. I'm definitely down. We have to do it before Infinity War comes out, though, because I have to see Infinity War. Oh, I'm so excited for that movie. You have no idea.
I have not been watching trailers specifically to not.
Me too.
To not like give anything away. I've seen one trailer, the first one, and I'm like, don't give anything away. Because when I watched Thor Ragnarok, one of the reasons I wanted to go see it in the first place was because of when Thor sees Hulk, and he's like. It's like a hilarious scene when he comes out in the Coliseum or whatever.
Right.
I really wish I hadn't seen that scene beforehand. I think it would have been like way more impactful had I seen it for the first time. Not even been expecting Hulk to be in the movie.
Right.
And then had that happen. So I've been trying to stay way away from trailers so that I can have those moments just for the first time while I'm watching the full movie.
Yeah, this will be one of the first Marvel movies I'm going in pretty much completely blind, and it's the last movie of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Weren't they coming out with two?
It's not technically Infinity War anymore. It was going to be part 1 and 2. The second,
I think it's
the second
one now.
Avengers of the Infinity War is going to be something else. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, but
what about you, Tanner?
About Avengers or video games?
Video games.
Okay. We kind of trailed off there.
We did a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting. I played video games growing up as a kid. Like I said, I always had a console when I was younger, as long as I remember. But when I went into high school, I actually stopped playing video games. And, I mean, I would play some here and there. I would play them at friends, but I wouldn't buy any for me, and I wouldn't ask them for my birthday or whatever. And it was
Is that why you were one of the cool kids?
I'm sorry, what?
Is that why you were one of the cool kids?
I guess so. Yeah.
So we were all the losers in high school, and then Tanner was the jock. He's the one that beat us up. Is that how this is?
But I still beat you up.
Oh yeah, that's right. You abuse me on a daily basis.
Yep. Okay, well, so I actually, and this carried through college. Again, I would play video games with friends. I had no problem doing that, but I was never invested when it was just myself. And so it wasn't actually until that time when I wanted to buy Overwatch, and also get more into League of Legends because of my brothers. And after I had gotten married, that I was getting more into video games. Part of it also was I was done with college. I didn't have to worry about that anymore, and so I could actually devote more time and money to video games.
Bless you, Keefin.
But what's interesting is I actually had told my wife before we had gotten married that I don't really see myself playing video games that much.
Divorce.
I know. Thankfully, she has seen past that and is willing to play video games with me to help kind of balance it out. But my main question of will I play video games in the future? I hope so. And what I mean by that is I never intended to stop playing video games when I went into high school or college. It just kind of happened because other things just kind of got in the way, and I just didn't really have much of a desire to make it a priority, which can be a good thing. But so I say I hope so because I don't really know as far as kids or whatever what my mind is going to, make time for. And so, like I said, I hope so. I want to keep doing it as long as I can. But one thing that I'm really curious about and want to get your opinions on is, the culture surrounding. Now,
sorry,
20
you
years
cut
You
ago,
cut out right
or
when you
10
said the
years
culture
ago,
surrounding.
The culture surrounding.
The culture surrounding
if
what?
someone was,
Tanner.
yeah.
The
You
culture
cut it.
surrounding what? You kind of cut out
Yeah,
right
you
as
cut
you said
out.
that one part.
Oh,
I mean, you
sorry,
could have said
okay.
cheese for all we know.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Cheese.
No, so the culture,
Oh my
Oh,
god.
adult men playing video games.
oh.
Because right now, I think the dominant culture outside of gaming culture would look at it as a negative thing.
I agree.
So wait,
They're
the
still
culture of
playing video
adult
games.
men playing video games? Was that the question that we're trying to look at?
I mean,
What? Sorry.
I'm sorry. What was the audio bad?
Well, yeah, you just
It
kept-
was
you kept,
it was non-existent.
you just kept cutting out. So what you were asking is the culture of adult men playing video games, right?
Or adults in general?
Just adults in general playing games.
How it can be changing right now?
I think the thing about it is that the upcoming generation, like you said, I don't remember who said it, but one of us said that.
It was Jean-Claude.
Oh, it was Ryan. The upcoming generation is just exposed to the gamer world because we know even if like they don't play consoles, smartphones have tons of games. And we can go into debates about whether smartphone games are real games or not, and I'm sure we probably will in another podcast, but the future generation is just going to be exposed to gaming no matter what. And I think it's becoming less of a stigma by the day. I mean, you go to League of Legends World Championship, there's millions there. Like,
Well, I mean, just thinking back to when we were kids, especially us older people, I'm almost 27, so not that old, but old enough to where as a kid, it was not cool to be a gamer.
no, not at all.
And I'm sure Nick can even attest to that.
Oh yeah, no one hung out with me.
It was not the cool thing to do. And I didn't play a ton of video games when I was a kid, just because I didn't have access to all of them. But like even then, like I still enjoyed them. I remember in high school, sometimes during lunch, I would go play Battlefield 1942 in one of my computer classes. I hated the class. I hate programming. I'm not that much into that stuff. I can't do it. Terrible. But we would go and play Battlefield 1942 with a bunch of kids, and definitely not a cool kid thing to do. I didn't play a ton of video games even then, but it was still really fun. But like that was looked down upon. Nowadays, everyone has like some kind of video game. I mean, how many PlayStations have been sold?
almost 80 million.
And then we have a bunch of Xboxes and Switches and PCs, and Steam is huge. And it changed. I think Steam changed gaming in ways that people could never imagine. There are so many different games now that anyone can enjoy them. I mean, so my wife Caitlin, not a huge gamer. She grew up playing mostly Nintendo games, but she enjoys like League of Legends. I got her to play that. She enjoys some Minecraft, which we'll probably do some Let's Plays in together later on. I think that like simpler games or a lot of indie games as well will attract an even wider segment of people because they're so different. And in the future, I think indie games are going to only be more prevalent and add more people in because it's easier and cheaper to build games than it ever was before. That's why we can have so much bigger games that are so much more expensive, is because we have the architecture there.
Right,
so I think it's only going to get in more young, old, and of both sexes, or all the sexes, depending on what you believe. To be safe here.
Avoiding any potential lawsuits there. Thanks, Keefin.
Yep, no problem.
So my question about this though is, I mean, I know the culture is going to, the gaming culture is going to continue to rise. Gaming is going to be more prevalent. It's inevitable. But at what point does that stigma kind of go away? Because I remember just like a year ago, I was talking with someone who was only like 2 years older than me. So he's not like a super old guy. But he would play video games every Thursday night. I think he would play Call of Duty with a bunch of friends every Thursday night. They just had this night when they would play, which is cool. But he remembers, he told me that, man, we're a bunch of, men with kids playing video games. Like, how pathetic is that? And he was saying it like in a very derogatory way. And I was basically told him, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. As long as you have the rest of your priorities sorted out, you can do that, and you don't have to be ashamed of it either.
No, I definitely agree. I think that's going a little much. I mean, you also have to think, like, there's different cultures, like, maybe in the United States, it'll take a little bit longer for gaming to become, super widespread. But I'd say in Asian countries, like I think
Korea?
gaming, I don't even think there is a stigma anymore. Maybe I don't live there. I don't live with that culture. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I would like to say, especially in South Korea, like, you got League of Legends and
definitely
Overwatch.
not North Korea.
Yeah, not
Sorry, North Koreans who can't listen to this anyway.
Thank you for that, Keefin.
You guys are screwed.
But like in Asian countries, like video games are very big. Like Japan, the Switch is selling like people literally line up to get put in a raffle to get a Switch, not just to get a Switch. They line up to get put into a raffle. Like I think Korea and Japan, especially, and I think China has a really big gaming player base as well. So maybe us as Americans, maybe we think it still has a stigma, but maybe in other countries there's not a stigma anymore.
And yeah, I'll agree with Tanner. They're like, I think it's like our age range, so kind of in a little bit above that, the stigma kind of still exists. I think it's a little bit less. Would you guys agree in our age range? It's a little bit less?
Yeah, because our age range is like, we're in the middle of that, like right in the middle, because we had... right in I'd say that gaming revolution where all this stuff started becoming a lot more prevalent.
Like the internet?
Yeah. Like the internet.
When that became a thing?
So, I mean, with where we're placed, I mean, there's probably still some stigma with some, in some demographics of our country, but I would say for the most part, just because we did grow up with the internet and we grew up with a lot of stuff where a lot of what our parents didn't have, I mean, that stigma is going to be going away just as, as further more generations come and go with the internet.
Yeah, and I think it also comes with a level of maturity of understanding of the likes and dislikes of others. No offense to your friend, but it's something that I had to kind of come to realize for myself as well as, and this is one of my big arguments to people. I don't want to kind of stereotype the female gender right now, but I'm a little bit going to. Just a fair warning. I know a lot of, especially people at my work, a lot of their husbands will play games and they'll complain about it and they won't understand it, but then they'll go and spend a bunch of time shopping, This is very specific examples that I'm saying. I don't think this is everyone, and I know it's not. But these few people, they love different things. People enjoy different things, and are going to want to spend their time on and money that they earned a lot of the time on different things that they enjoy. So if one person enjoys reading a book, and another person enjoys going to buy shoes, and another person likes to play video games, I don't think any of those things are wrong. As long as what you're doing doesn't hurt anyone, and as long as I think it doesn't become an addiction, I think that's where anything can become a problem. As long as it's not an addiction and it's something that you enjoy, there isn't any problem with doing it. So I think that's the maturity level people have to come to realize is just because you don't understand it or you don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong for someone else. So that was something I had to come to realize for myself. And the moment I realized that, it really helped me understand that who cares if I think that video games are fun? Who cares if I think playing like some kind of board game that takes like forever, like a Risk, is fun, and someone else thinks that's lame? It's something I enjoy, and that makes it valid.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's very philosophical, Keefin.
Right, and even enjoying it as an adult.
Yeah.
Which is just as valid because, like you said, there's something you enjoy, and if you can spend your money on it, and it doesn't hurt anyone, there's no reason why you should be ashamed of it.
And I have the money now.
Yeah. Well, I agree. So I just bought a $300 upgrade to my PC, and I was telling a couple of my coworkers about it yesterday, and they're like, "Did you really spend $300 on just a couple parts for your computer?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's something I'm really passionate about. I want to maybe make a career out of it. I like building PCs, and Ryan can attest to how good it is to build a PC.
Yes.
It's great.
Because I built his, and I built my dad's as well, and it's a hobby of mine, and I really enjoy it, and I put money into it, and I'm getting a lot out of it. And not only that, it's like a stepping stone to even more, future careers and things like that. And people could have a stigma.
We spent money on a microphone.
Yeah, we all pitched in money on this new microphone because we all are really passionate about talking about this sort of thing. We wanted to do a podcast. Some people might think, wow, 4 nerds getting together talking about video games, but it's what we like doing, and it's valid to us, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And
I also don't think that means you can't enjoy other things.
Oh, definitely not.
I think people don't understand that as well. People think that you're addicted to games if you like games, but that's not necessarily true. I enjoy doing a lot of things. I enjoy reading, I enjoy working out, I enjoy watching TV, I like watching YouTube videos, hence the reason this is part of the reason I want to do this.
Right.
But I have a lot of different things that I enjoy. I enjoy being with people and going out and doing something. I enjoy high adventure, I enjoy rock climbing. I enjoy a myriad of things, and I don't think that liking one thing affects liking other things.
No, it certainly doesn't.
Yeah. Right after this, I'm going to turn on the NBA playoffs. They start today.
Oh, yeah. That's exciting.
And I like being well-rounded like that.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that our generation has going for us, too, is that a lot of us are more well-rounded, too. And part of the reason why gaming and stuff is pretty prevalent today is because I read a few psychological studies about how nostalgia is a big part of our a part of the millennials' psyche, and how it really helps improve our mental health when we when we start to actually enjoy things from our childhood. And you'll see stuff on Facebook all the time about 90s kids being nostalgic about
anything?
About anything really much. I don't remember
Walkmans.
What is it that we talked about last week that I didn't know? Pogs?
It was Pogs.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Those were the little...
Yeah, the flippy things.
The flippy things
yep.
that Mexico was into a few years ago. Probably still are.
What were they called? I can't even remember. Tapas or something?
Yeah, something. I don't remember what they were called either. But
Pogimos.
Yeah, I don't
Pogos.
No, I don't remember my dad talking about...
I don't speak Spanish.
I don't remember my dad or any really older generation really being as nostalgic as our generation is. And having access to the internet and having all these, especially the reverse, or what is that
Backwards
called?
Compatibility.
Backwards compatibility. And when I heard that was possible for a lot of for the Wii, I was
or the Xbox
or the Xbox. Well, the first time I heard about it was on Wii,
mm-hmm.
and I was I was ecstatic because I started looking for a bunch of the N64 games that I played when I was a kid because I missed playing them. Like and then Pokemon Stadium was a game I loved growing up. Pokemon Stadium, just Super Smash, Star Fox, all those games. I mean, obviously not all of them were available on the Wii store, but a good chunk of them were, and I was able to do a lot of, I was able to experience a lot of nostalgia playing that backwards compatibility. And as technology gets better, and as we're able to move, get a lot of our games back, it's just gonna. Now the people who aren't so much into games, like from our generation, they're probably going to get more access to those older games, and then they're just going to become more and more into it because they're going to be able to play games that they used to when they were just small children.
And I think we could talk about nostalgia forever, and I think we'll actually probably have a podcast on that, and we're actually going to have gameplay on it as well. But I kind of wanted to go a little bit back to what Nick was saying about building computers, because we were talking about what we think we're going to be doing in the future. And I think that video games or creating or hardware that can run video games, like making a PC that can run good games, which I assume is what you want to plan to do when you do your upgrades, is run better, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And would that be something you would even think about doing to build it for people and have them pay you and make a little bit of extra money on the side, possibly, in the future?
100%.
Or even for fun, just because you enjoy it, but that's a hobby. I think that also people don't understand how much of a actual real money-making machine in a way, or actual job video games can be. I mean, there's entire companies based off purely playing games or based around what games have created. And like the Twitch streamer Ninja, how he had like an entire Twitch stream with Drake. Not really into Twitch personally myself. I do stream there from time to time, but it's not my place. But I think it's a great idea. And the fact that he could get so many concurrent viewers, and he's making tons of money doing it, and people on the outside, on the news outlets that interviewed him, did not understand that. They didn't understand how that it was like a realistic job that you could actually have. And I think Nick has started into that a lot with trying to learn how to build computers and everything. And that was something that I did in high school. Is I took a class on repairing hardware, and I'm actually A+ certified.
You are?
Means I am certified to fix and make computers. Technically, it's been forever. But yeah, I actually did a certification for that.
I'm going for that certification.
And there you go. So. And Nick's very into that. And I mean, you could talk more about that, but it's something that you could foresee in your future being a real thing. And I think we're also doing this podcast because we could foresee it as something that would keep us together and something we could do in the future.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, the answer to the question is, do we see ourselves playing video games in the future? Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just playing video games, but commentating on video games, like we are now. We obviously enjoy it, so why wouldn't we want to keep that for the rest of our lives?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're masochists.
No, not because of that. Yeah. But yeah, we want to keep playing them. We want to keep talking about them because it's our passion and we like it. And we want to branch out even more. Have this podcast, have Let's Plays, streaming, all of those things. But I think we've had a good discussion here, gentlemen. Do we have any final thoughts before we all part ways?
Don't eat too much cheese.
That's some good advice from Ryan.
Very good advice
He
from me.
speaks from experience.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll try to do better at not being so awkward and having awkward pauses with our audio. Something we're still working out, but I appreciate you all tuning in. This has been the All Chat Gaming Podcast with me, Nick, and
Keefin.
Ryan.
And
Jean-Claude.
Tanner. Okay,
Tanner.
wow, Ryan.
way to interrupt that. Well, we hope you all have a good rest of your week, and we'll catch you next week on the All Chat Gaming Podcast.